My name's Andrew Calvo. I'm the Director of Sales for TechShop in the Bay Area, and I manage all of our corporate and B2B sales, training, events for the shop system. TechShop is a membership-based, open access, do-it-yourself fabrication and prototype studio. Membership-based is like a health club model. Our members pay a monthly fee. They have access to our shop 7 days a week, from 9 in the morning until midnight. Open access means we're open to everyone, so there's no application or test to become a member. We welcome every level of ability. Anyone who's got a great idea and the motivation to come to a makerspace is welcome. We even have our membership now open to age 8 and older, so we welcome kids to come in here if they're with their parents. It's a prototyping studio, a DIY prototyping studio, in which you are not going to give us your plans. You're going to be doing it yourself. We're here to empower and educate you to become a maker. So TechShop started 10 years ago when our founder, Jim Newton, who had been working on a TV show called Mythbusters and was managing the shop there and working in the shop, and he had left the show and he felt stripped of his ability to work in a great workshop. I mean, he had this idea, what if he opened a shared workspace that was a workshop, had all these amazing tools, and similar to a health club, people would put their money in and have access to all these tools. So he went to the very first Maker Faire in San Mateo when he had this idea, and he sat at a small table and he basically asked the people coming to the fair, if I built this shared workspace, would you come to it? And hundreds of people signed on his piece of paper and said, yes, we'd love that idea. So then he bootstrapped the very first tech shop in Menlo Park, California. That was 10 years ago, and now 10 years later, we have 9 tech shops in the United States. We operate 3 in the Bay Area, San Francisco, Redwood City, San Jose. We're also in Detroit, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C., St. Louis, Missouri, Austin, Texas, Phoenix, Arizona. And we also operate 3 internationally. So we are now in Paris, Tokyo, Abu Dhabi. And we have many other tech shops in development, both in the United States and abroad. We believe we could operate tech shops in any city with a population of about 1 million in a 45-minute driving radius. And we believe there's 1,000 cities globally we could be successful in. We are a for-profit private business. We have investors, companies like Autodesk, and individual investors. We also have a variety of partnerships. We've opened tech shops in partnership with companies like Ford Motor Company, large automobile manufacturer. We partnered with companies abroad such as Fujitsu to open our shops in Japan. We partnered with Leroy Merlin in France. And we have some other large partnerships we're about to announce in China, Australia, and other countries are in stages of development. We also just recently announced that we're going to be opening a tech shop in Brooklyn, our first shop in the New York metropolitan area, partnership with the city of New York and a new big manufacturing site that they're working with us in Brooklyn. So our demographic is a pretty wide demographic with a lot of interesting member types, and it ranges definitely from people who are interested in prototyping products. They have an idea for a solution to a problem or an entirely new product, and they come to TechShop, and for a very modest amount of money, they can create that prototype. And it's everything from a company like Square, which revolutionized the credit card processing industry. Square started at TechShop building their prototype, going to the VCs that they knew and raising a significant amount of venture capital, and went public last fall at a $4 billion valuation. Companies like the Dodo case, DODO, which came in and prototyped a very unique iPad case and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business. A company like Lumio, who again came in, created a prototype for a very unique lamp, which I'll show you later, and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business. So we do get a lot of people in here trying to create that first iteration of a product using all of our prototyping skills. But we also get artists into TechShop using our headless tools to make whatever their vision artwork is, whether it's out of metal, woodwork, whatever. We also get people coming in and just creating personal projects, maybe making furniture for their home or whatever they need on a personal level, refurbishing a car or coming in with a really old car and they can't find parts to it anymore. So they come in and fabricate parts to fit their car, maybe a 1950s car that they simply don't make the parts for. So maybe they're 3D printing a part or going in the metal shop and fabricating a part so that they can run their car. So it's a very diverse range. We do think about 30 to 40% are here to create a prototype to build a company. And the rest are here for whatever personal projects, either artistic endeavors or simply working on something in their personal life. So again, we have a very diverse range of expertise that comes into the shop, but we also welcome anyone in the shop to come in with zero knowledge. And we teach, out of this shop alone, 200 to 300 classes a month on every area of the shop, every machine in the shop, and every piece of software that you would use in the design workflow. So a lot of people will come in and initially learn Adobe Illustrator, learning their two-dimensional design skills, or Autodesk Inventor or Fusion 360 to learn 3D modeling. And once they've got a grasp on that software, they may then learn the software techniques for CNC machines, and we have some software classes on that where you can then go in and create the file types in Illustrator or a 3D modeling program, figure out how to translate them into a file type that a 3D printer would use or a laser cutter would use. And again, then we'll also teach you all of the basics on how to operate the machines, the 3D printers, the laser cutters, the CNC tools in the machine shop. And we will, again, train you in a very small class, 4 to 6 students, 2 to 3 hour class. Our goal is to get you up and running very quickly so you can begin working in our shop. Yeah, so all of our classes are organized by TechShop. We have a pool at each shop, anywhere from 50 to 200 instructors. Mostly they are independent contractors, professionals working in the field of whatever their areas of expertise is. And they like to come to TechShop sometimes on the nighttime after their day job or on the weekends, and they'll teach our members how to use the wood shop or whatever machines that they're really expertise in. And that's part of our revenue model. We do sell both memberships, but we do charge for our classes. And so a new member may come in and sign up for a membership and end up taking 2, 3, 4, 5 classes to get the ability to then book time on a machine in the shop or work in that area of the shop. Right now, all of our classes are in-person, hands-on classes, mostly with a small class size of 4 to 6 students. So we never increase the class size when we have more demand. We simply add more classes to the class schedule because we want to give everyone the ability to strictly have that hands-on experience. In the future, we may figure out that there are ways to impart some of that education online, but we haven't done that yet. We still have a job in educating the public on makerspaces. Well, in the Bay Area, there is a level of recognition. The Maker Fair regularly now receives 150,000 attendees over 2 days, so it's a nice turnout. But the general population is still not aware of what a makerspace is. So we're constantly educating people, whether we're going out to all the maker fairs in the country, the neighborhoods. We do some online advertising, mostly through social media. We are always providing free tours for people who come into the shop. We do tours every day, 7 days a week. We don't have a waiting list yet. Our capacity, for example, at this shop, we believe would be around 1,500, and we average between 1,000 and 1,200 members at any given time. So we still think we could fit in a few more members in San Francisco. But because we're on a reservation system, we can have enough members that are coming in at designated times so that it doesn't overwhelm the shop. So you make a reservation on the laser cutters, when you come in, you've got that space from 2 to 4 p.m., 3 times a week, whatever time you reserve the space. But in general, we still are doing the advocacy and trying to get people to understand the power of a makerspace because it's really a young vertical market that's only been around for 10 years. Exactly. So we believe, and we see it every tech shop, after we get to about 300 to 400 members, which all of our tech shops have now, a in-person intentional community is formed within that location. And it's generally because most of our tech shops is one in one city. It's that city's tech shop. In the Bay Area, we're unique. We have 3 tech shops. So there is some interlocking of communities, and you may come to our tech shop and you need a specific machine or class. You could drive 30 minutes down to Redwood City and go to their tech shop. But we do see that once you get to that, we see it around 300, 400, 500 members. People know each other by face. They hang out during the day with each other, or hang out at night or on the weekends and get to know each other. And then we do see that teams are formed, that companies are formed, and very often a member who would be successful, say, in creating a prototype and turning it into a product that's very successful, say, on Kickstarter, all of a sudden has to build a team to fabricate 500 or 1,000 of those quickly, and they'll pull in members from the shop to help them with their manufacturing. We have done various times, either internally where we'll produce a workshop, or we have worked with both Indiegogo and Kickstarter who love to come in and share knowledge with our members because it is the obvious place for those crowdfunding sites to try to get in front of our members and figure out or impart the wisdom on what the best Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign entails and how to get up on their platforms. And we've had many successful Kickstarter campaigns, both at this shop and many other shops, including like the ORU kayak, which we have one downstairs in the retail shop. It's a beautiful kayak, but it folds up using the principles of origami. They prototyped it here, they put it up on Kickstarter, they raised $500,000 on Kickstarter. They also went on a TV show we have here called Shark Tank, and I had a very successful experience there. So many companies, just 1 or 2 people can come into a makerspace, create that prototype for $1,000, $2,000 perhaps, and then test market it on Kickstarter or other avenues, and see if there is a viability for that product. So so we see both types of people who will come into a tech shop. It can be one person with a great idea, and they find tech shop and they come in and start learning the tools, meeting people in the community, maybe forming a team with people they've met. We also have teams that come to tech shop. They know that they've already assembled their team, and companies like Type A Machines, which had a small team, came in and started prototyping a 3D printer, completely designed it here and prototyped it here, and now actually we rented space to them for 3 years. Their first sales and marketing office was here at Tech Shop. So they came in with a small team and built a team over time as well, and now have a global company. So we see it work both ways. It could be one person coming in and starting to meet people. We have one very interesting case of a member. He came into Tech Shop very early on, and his name is Mark Roth, R-O-T-H. Mark was actually a software engineer who had come to San Francisco during the first dot-com craze of 2007, 2008. And he lost his opportunity when he came to San Francisco for. He actually ended up living in a homeless shelter. He had some really bad luck, lost his car, was broken into. Anyway, he was in a homeless shelter, and he was in the shelter, and we were doing a promotion right after we helped him, and there was a flyer on the floor that said 1 month membership, $49, that includes 2 classes. And he came to Tech Shop with his first general assistance check. He had gotten $50 from the city of San Francisco, so he used it on TechShop. And he had 1 month of membership. He came in, he learned the laser cutters, and a very sharp, smart person. And after he learned them, he realized he could be of use with that talent to other members here. And so he started getting jobs from other members. Laser cutters, you need to be inside the machine and working the machine, so he'd find people who needed people to do some production work. And within a month or two, he became so skilled at it, he was getting job after job after job. After several months, he started his own company called SF Laser and was able to then pull himself out of the homeless shelter, do his own business. He ended up renting an office we have here in TechShop, buying his own laser cutter so that he'd have it 24/7 to work on. And then he did something very special too, is he started his own nonprofit called the Learning Shelter. And the Learning Shelter was designed to do exactly what happened to him, take folks who were living in shelters, bring them into TechShop, and teach them some skills that they could then put into use to pull themselves out of a homeless cycle. So Mark is now still, we see him all the time. He moved out and has his own shop that he does laser jobs for. He's become a very experienced professional now in the laser cutting world within TechShop, within San Francisco, and Officer Services has some employees. So I would say number one, it's not going to be just the tools you provide, which anyone can buy some tools and put them in a room, but education is very important. So you want to make people feel not intimidated to walk in, and if they see a machine that they don't know how to use, you want to encourage them, of course, to learn and have the curriculum and ability to teach them, starting at zero knowledge. So, which we try to do that here all the time. We know that everyone has a great idea. Every single person who's ever been alive has great ideas. And having access to education and a community to help support them is what will help you get those ideas into a physical manifestation. So think about the community, think about education in addition to the wonderful tools you can provide. So we do believe everyone is a maker on some level, whether it's something, everyone is generally going to make dinner for themselves or make something in their house or something artistic or something. So we believe everyone is a maker, but there are some skill sets that will advance you if you have them in your skill set. So when we ask around, what skills are helping you right now, we often hear math, basic geometry and algebra, and math skills are important, whether it's as simple as figuring out how to measure, translate inches to centimeters, or whatever that is. Having some background in math is going to help you on some level in every area of the shop. We're also finding that, in terms of software design, because half of the machines, for example, in our shop are CNC or computer numerically controlled machines. Having the skill sets in both two-dimensional and three-dimensional software design are very important, and that can be learned very quickly. Adobe Illustrator is software that many of our members will use to create those two-dimensional designs that a laser cutter will cut out. And then the three-dimensional software, creating three-dimensional models, it's also very important to work with a 3D printer or working in a machine shop if you're creating a 3D part out of metal. So those are the software skills, and those can be learned anywhere right now. We teach them here, but definitely learning those skills are important, I think, moving forward. So we do have a division called TechShop Global, and TechShop Global is based in Europe, and we are currently vetting interest from all over the world. We are hearing from every major city and governments and redevelopment agencies, and how do we get a tech shop? So right now, we to scale our company, because it's a very expensive process to build a tech shop on the scale that we like to build them, which are fairly large, 15 to 20,000 square feet environments, very open. We are currently working with large corporate partners, academic institutions, and government institutions, sometimes in a partnership of all three, or for example, in Fujitsu, we're a very large partner in Japan. And we have conversations happening in just about every country in Europe right now, so it's very possible that we are doing a market assessment right now in Germany. So hopefully soon we'll be seeing a tech shop come out in various cities in Germany.